Real estate investors struggling, succeeding, either way, if you're looking for better ways to close more deals, you're in the right place. I pick a random house off the internet, analyze it for a cash deal and a creative deal. When I started this podcast, my goal was simple. It was to help beginners and struggling investors close their first deal or their next deal, all while using low to no cost tools to analyze property and craft strong offers. Welcome to the Corner Barn. I am Chris Thompson, that bearded guy, the creative guy, second generation realtor and investor with 19 years in the business. This is the weekly deal analysis. Let's get into the show. Hey, real quick, I think you're going to like this episode. If you would, hit that like button for me in anticipation and share it with somebody who else likes real estate. This week, we are diving into Cheyenne, Wyoming, and we are going to analyze 3241 Arcadia Drive. They are asking $345,000, four bedroom, two bath, 2,000 square feet on a 6,000 square foot lot. They have been on the market for 338 days, and it was built in 55. So let's dive through these pictures and see what we can find. Pretty clean house overall. That's pretty. I like those floors. We got baseboard heat, big kitchen, table space. Excuse me. Full bath. This room is probably the master. I'm assuming because I see a king size bed, and this little split here tells me that's basically just two twin box springs with a king size mattress on it. This looks like it's in the basement, and so does this. I really hope they're not claiming two bedrooms in the basement that aren't technically bedrooms, but it looks like they are. Nice little screen porch off the back. Pretty season room. Good, they have floor plans. All right, so primary bedroom. Yeah, two of those bedrooms. So this is really only a two-bedroom house. Well, that changes things quite a bit. So let us go back in and see what they're telling us. Not telling us much outside of it's a good house. Great. Bedroom one, yeah, that confirms it right there. So for me, this is only a two-bedroom house and explaining, I think, a lot why it's not selling. So all of the greats, CoreLogic 350, Quaterium 346. I'm not seeing it because I think a lot of it is based off of a four-bedroom when realistically it's only a two-bedroom. And excuse me. So there's one on the just around the corner, 330, a little bit smaller. 326. These are just the estimated values. One thing I did learn picking this property is Wyoming is a non-disclosure state, so they're not telling us what things actually sold for, which leads me to think that this is probably a 300 ARV max. Let's see. They bought it in 23, again, non-disclosure. They started at 360 and been chasing downwards. Made a couple of price bumps early and then just kind of sat there. Taxes are pretty low. What else we got here? We're in a 290. That's kind of where I'm seeing ARV, that 290 range. 95, 305. Yeah, right now I'm leaning towards sticking to that 290 is going to be our ARV. Yeah. So, and this helps clarify it. So this is a two bedroom, one bath for 280. So yeah, I think we're pretty good at that 290. I'm gonna write that down. ARV 290. And ARV is after repair value, what something is worth after everything's been renovated and cleaned up. Rental prices for a house. So we got a 2000, 1650, 14, 2024, 2021, 22. These numbers are really all over the place. I think a safe bet would be probably 1900. Might be able to get more, but overall, I think 1900. We're going to use 1900 as our guesstimated rents. All right, I think we have a good base on what we think our rent's going to be. So let's jump over to the InvestNest and break this thing down for a cash deal. I already have it pulled up here, and they're not giving us an estimated rent price, so not really sure on that one. Their estimated value is about the same. If we wanted to skip trace them, InvestNest builds this in. If you want to try the InvestNest out, there will be a code down in the description. It'll get you your first week for free and 50% off of your first month. Test it out, try it out, see if you like it. It's a non-disclosure state, so they're really not telling us a ton. Roughly, well, that's what their mortgage payment is based on when they bought it, VA loan. VA loans are 100% finance. All right, let's run some numbers here. 3280 Acacia Drive. All right, here's where the fun begins. Our purchase price, we're thinking the ARV or after repair value is 290. We're going to offer 70% of that. 290. 70% gives us an offer price of 203,000. And we are saying we're not going to do any improvements to it because I do think the condition's pretty good. Yeah, it does need stuff. It is dated, but overall, we're just going to let it ride for this analysis. Closing costs, we're going to factor 4 points because we are going to offer to pay both sides of closing. Our lender is going to charge us 2 points to help get us the money to buy this thing. 25% down payment, interest rate, I think at 6.75. Term, I want to see a 30. Rental income, we were factoring about 1900, 18, 2000, somewhere in there. But now we're going to jump over and check HUD to see what they say. Realistically, I do feel like this is only a two bedroom. If it was a four, we'd be at that 19. But this is only saying not even 12. Rentometer for a two bedroom is right around 18 for an average. So I think we're gonna split the middle here and just stick with that 18 because we've got numbers all over the place. So 1800, we're gonna factor for our rent. And remember, always check with a local. I'm just a guy on the internet pulling up random stuff. I don't know that market, and you should certainly find somebody that knows it very well. Property taxes, we said were low. Insurance, I like to factor 1,500 a year or 125 a month. Property management, 10%. Tenants paying for all the utilities. And war chest or our reserve fund is 5% for repairs and maintenance, vacancy, and capital expenditures. So that's basically our plan for when things go wrong, because in real estate, it's never a matter of if, it is a matter of when. 2% appreciation rate. I like to raise rents 2.5% per year, bigger and holding it for 10 years. And we are real estate investors. We don't pay commissions. All right, let's see what these numbers look like. You were waiting to see if it cash flowed. I know. If you made it this far in the video, I do appreciate you. Hit that like button for me to show your appreciation for this stuff. Bow. Now, back to the numbers. We got cash flow. So we're offering a whole lot less than they are asking. And personally, I use a really low cash offer to entice or spice up my creative offer. So for $62,000, you can make $100 a month. Not great, but not the worst. Not like last week's, right? Cap rate was 6.5, DSCR 1.11, cash on cash 2. DSCR is debt service coverage ratio. If you want to buy a property and you may not have the best credit, or you're self-employed and you don't show a lot of income on paper, but you make plenty of money, DSCR would be the route for you because they base everything on the cash flow of the property. It's a great system. Those are the type of loans that I use personally myself. Return on investment after those 10 years is a little over 11. It does not hit the 1% rule, which is funny because last week the numbers weren't even close and it was a negative cash flow. And this week it does cash flow, barely, but it does cash flow. And it's saying the 1% doesn't work. Just one more reason why I don't use that anymore. So here's all of our breakdown of numbers, where all of our money goes each month. Really, you're into this thing for 5 to 10 years before you really start to make some good money on it. But one of the things I love about the InvestNest, it's overall pretty solid and they give you tons and tons of detail. So I think we beat this one down enough. Now we're going to go jump over and do my favorite part and analyze the creative side. This is my creative calculator. You can get it off of my website, christhompsonteam.com. 290 for our ARV. So we are offering on this. You know what? Let's see if we can do a full 290. That's still way below what they're asking. 290 at 4% interest. And now we're going to look for our PITI, or principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, which is our mortgage payment. For that, we are going to use bank rate. So home price, 290. I only want to put 5% down. Interest rate of 4%. I don't think the zip code really matters. Taxes, 132. And that's got a little higher. We'll stick with their number. No HOA on this one. All right, 1578. We're going to come plug in here, 1578. And we went with a potential rent number of 1,800. Ooh, that's not fun. Ouch. Another negative creative deal. We're just offering too much. All right, so we know it doesn't work at a 4% rate. What about a 2% rate? Leave everything else the same. All right, 1281. 1281. All right, we got it above the line. Still not great, but we did get it above the line. But 290 at 2%. Our gross cash flow is 519, 270 to the war chest, 180 to the manager, which gives us a net cash flow of $70 a month. Still not a good deal, but at least we got it to positive. To the seller, we are throwing 14.5. This agent really hasn't done anything, so maybe $500. Excuse me. We're not working with a wholesaler, so there's no assignment fee. Closing cost is going to be that same 4% of the purchase price. Renos, we're planning on not doing anything. 2 months of holding is just 2 months of that PITI or your mortgage payment, and a good transaction coordinator will cost you about $1,500. What did you think about Acacia in Cheyenne, Wyoming? An okay cash deal, really not a great creative deal. So the property taxes were good, but I think the payment versus, or I guess the price of the house versus what we can rent it for, plus the mortgage and interest and all the different factors that go in, this property is not going to be a good one. Am I saying the area is not good? No, because there's always somewhere in some way to find a deal. So that's going to do it here for us in the Corner Barn on the weekly deal analysis this week. I am Chris Thompson, that bearded guy, the creative guy. We will see you next week.